frozen tears, turning each second to years. A meltdown in paradise, revolution, call and bring their eyes. Hammer high, this is a freedom drive. Hammer high, no one should ask me why. It's my life, probably I will defy.
What's going on, everybody? Just gonna let the fellas know I'm on here now. It's not just gonna be all DB77s today. It's gonna be a good time. Gents, I'm on with Kristian. Oops. Okay. All right. We have 3 people in the house. Let's hope we get some more. That's cool. Either way, it's Friday. We like to hang out on Fridays every Friday. 4:30 Eastern time. It's gonna be a good time today. What are we doing today? I've also realized that we need to leave the music up a tiny bit louder because I can't, when I watch it back, I can't hear the music at all. As you guys are the viewers, you guys let me know. Honestly, let me know when the background music is so quiet that you can't even hear it at all. And then I don't like that. It's on to kind of protect against that dead air feature. Even though it costs me monetization. Why am I already getting crackles? Crackly crack. Anyways, my name is Tyler. Welcome to the Amp Sim Show, episode 150 some or other. We're here today to hang out and just talk IRs today. It's going to be premium Amp Sims. I do have Nameless Suite, the OG Nameless Suite planned. Oh boy, that's 2 amps at the same time. You guys almost got absolutely drilled. If I hadn't had the denoiser on there, oh my gosh. Man, you guys would have got drilled with the Nameless Suite. Now, maybe today would be the proper time. Maybe we use the original and the X version with the same IR and see what happens. Because if I recall correct, the original version had ML Sound Lab IRs in it. I don't know if the redone version does or not. That's interesting. I'd actually like to go over the X version and look and see what's exactly the differences are. I'd like to know. Anyways, we've got a couple of, if you guys want to add the next premium sim, that's cool. But we're going to be checking out some of the IRs in the Kristian Kohle, Metal IR Pack from Eminence. And I just got it. Thanks so much, by the way, to Kristian Kohle. What a great person. The guy's just such a nice person. I thoroughly enjoy hanging, just chatting with him occasionally. Today we're going to be going after the DB77. We also have the Swamp Thang. We have the CV75, but mostly I want to check out this guy right here. This is strange though. These are just his favorites, right? He doesn't actually have a DB77 pack with them. I thought he actually had a full-on DB77 pack with them, but I guess not. So today we'll probably end up changing the name of the stream a little bit later on. We're going to check out some DB77s from Eminence, obviously. We're going to check some DB77s out in a plugin form, and that is the Granifier here. Has DB77s all fucking loaded up. We're gonna give this guy some hype today, as I believe this has sort of been a forgotten amp sim, if to some. I don't think I don't know that this gets the love that it should. It hasn't been given an X version yet, though, as far as I know. So yeah, we're gonna be hanging out with this. If they do an X version, come on, guys, for fuck's sakes, can you fill out this section? There should never, ever be a whole panel devoted to one single pedal. It is an egregious waste of resources. It's so silly when I see that. And you couldn't think of 2 other pedals that you could put next to the plumes here? It's so strange to me when I see one pedal in a suite. It's so weird. Even though this is one hell of a pedal, we're going to get started with this guy right here. With the plumes and the granophyre. And we're going to choose our tubes selection. We're going to go start with KTs. I'm going to set up the granophyre the way I always set up the granophyre. Is exactly the same every single time I do it. And I enjoy setting this amp up. And it's a lot of fun to use. And I'm going to set it up basically the same way every time. The two controls that I'm going to be moving around a little bit are going to be the depth and the bass control. A little bit. Basically, that'll be it. All right, let's tune it up here. I don't think we got fully tuned up before I started yapping and yammering. And we seem to be good to go. All right. It doesn't sound as good as I imagined in my mind. We're going to get there, though. We'll get there. Sounds pretty good. But I think we can get there better. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to turn this guy off here. And we're going to go here. And now we're going to start monkeying around a little bit. If I'm not mistaken... Am I mistaken? Is there not? I thought there was a DV77 in this one, but I'm seeing VM1265 and MS1260. I always thought that the bottom section here was a DV77. I could be wrong. The VM, I guess, is not a DV77. But we already got started with this. Ah, what a bummer. What a bummer. Anyways, we're going to be hanging out today, checking out some IRs. We'll get past that one. You know what? Why not just start with it? We've already got the amp set up. Let's just turn off the cabinet, go back to the amp. And then we're going to use it through... oh boy. I almost exploded things again. Okay, now we're going to go with the Kristian Kohle pack. We're going to check out with the Karnivore as well today. And you know what? To get it started though, just so I can get everything down, we're gonna start with an angle IR, my Ega, and I just want to get a good tone here. Nice. Anyways, I am the Bachelor King this weekend. The missus is hanging out with her fam jam, and I am playing the lone wolf here at the house. So you might see a stream on Saturday. I'm not 100% sure. We've got such a busy weekend this weekend, though. Okay, so I definitely need to bring the low end back, and... Now, what I like to do with this is actually use the mid-voice switch with the mids scooped a bit. So it's a prototype. Nice. Better than ever. I was eating tangerines in the sun. Nice. That doesn't sound terrible. If anyone is free. All right. Okay. I don't even have time for that right now. Running a Saturday disc golf league while trying to do this for 2 hours is, man, because right after I get off the air here, I go straight to my computer and I do disc golf stuff for like 3 hours in setting up for the week. Oh, I don't know why why do I do this? I make no money doing this. It's all for just for the disc golf community. This sounds great. I'm good. It's my first full week back to work after my extended summer vacation, and it is what it is. Without sharing too much about what it is that like is bothering me, I'm a little bored. I'll just say that I'm a little bored with the assignment that I'm currently working on. I'm a little bored, but we'll see. Anyways, let's get to the real IRs. We've got a good tone here now. I've got a good base for things. Now let's go for it. Now let's go to Eminence, and we're going to check out... I've got this pack already. Oh, so this was already... I already had this pack. That's very strange to me. I think I already had this pack the whole time, the entire time. All right, these are all blends from the DB77 pack. These are all Kristian Kohle, Kohle Killer Audio. We just want to call him Kristian. These are all his favorite IRs at that point, I suppose, in their lineup. Let's see what we got. That doesn't sound bad. I promised some of the guys that I was going to record some hardcore. So I'm going to be riff writing every time I'm playing a guitar in C. I am just going to, I'm starting to dabble in some riff writing for a project I call Finishing Move. And it's a pretty fun project to do. It's going to be, one of the most enjoyable genres for me to sing is I love singing hardcore. I was in a hardcore band for a while, and I've also recorded a lot of stuff. It's just I have a sort of a, I've always, when it came to hardcore vocals, I was always really into emulating singers that I really enjoy. And one of those singers that I really enjoy is Ole from Raised Fist. So I kind of like to yell a lot. Anyways, so hopefully I get some of this stuff. I don't know when I'm going to find time to record, though. I honestly don't know. But we're going to figure it out. So we're just checking out some DB77 IRs today, and we're going to go over a bunch of different IRs. It's not going to be all just DB77 stuff today. I'll change the name after the fact. And I also don't have one of the packs that I thought I had when I actually kind of queued up the stream, and I went to go get one of the packs, and I actually don't have it. So I may look. Let's look and see if it came in my email yet. Hold on. Did it come into my email? Wheedly 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 deedly dee. Nope, I don't have anything yet. So we'll see. When I know, you'll know. Anyways, if you haven't liked a video in the past, but make sure you subscribe, guys. We really appreciate it. And I did that little thing where I can kind of check out our viewers, the subscribed versus not subscribed. And as everyone is showing you that graphic these days, how tired are you of seeing that from your favorite YouTubers? I'm honestly, it started happening maybe like 6 months ago. And man, it's just super weird that every video I watch now, so many videos that I'm watching, I'm finding these YouTubers are reminding me, I'm subscribed, brother. I'm not one of those people, but I think that's a little That's a little pushy. I think when you're showing them and being like, hey, 60% of you people watching this are not subscribed. You should subscribe. I'm not about that. I'm not about that. You guys want to not subscribe? I would like it if you did, but nonetheless, if you want to lurk, you can lurk as well. So what we're doing today is we're going over a few different amp sims. Right now, I'm running the Neural DSP Omega Ampworks Granifier. And when this thing came out, it basically broke the internet. And then all of a sudden, like so many other plugins, something else came out and people kind of swept it under the rug a little bit. People are under the impression that the Archetype Gojira is a heavier plugin than this, and I just don't agree. I just do not agree. I think the third amp or whatever, I think it's the third amp, the heavy amp in the Gojira plugin is cool. The middle amp is not very useful, and the clean tone is fantastic though. There are 2 or 3 amps that are fantastic. The middle one really doesn't have a purpose, but I don't think that that plugin is anywhere close to this plugin as far as like full quality goes. But that's just me. Is that like, did I just write an Arch Enemy song? I gotta think with the recent Arch Enemy albums and those songs. Am I wrong, or are those songs starting to sound a little bit cookie cutter? Also, let's get the chat fired up. Come on, folks. There's 8 people in the chat. We are not moving. Come on, let's light this place up on a Friday. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see what we got this Friday. Let's see what you guys are all about. And if you've never chatted with us before, no time like the present to jump in when things are a bit slow. And we're checking out the Kristian Kohle Metal IR Pack, which I realized I already had. They had already given it to me. I see DV77 here as well. Okay, so here are the non-blended files. There are non-blended files and blended files. And so in this particular scenario, we have 57 off-axis and an on-axis as well. So here's the on-axis. It's very, very tinny. It's very, very, very bright. Not tinny, bright, we'll say. And then the off-axis. Oh, wow. I am absolutely getting massacred in tuning-wise today. I have no idea why. I mean, these aren't the best tuners, but these strings are not old and not brand new, so they should be fine. Now, if we want to blend the off-axis and the on-axis, because that one's a bit dark, right? That one's a bit dark, so let's start blending some stuff up. All right. And by the way, I've got everything from Eminence. So if there's any particular Eminence speaker you want to check out, guys, just ask. I have tons. I have tons of speakers. I haven't even tried all these speakers yet. That's how many speakers I have from them. But as far as I understand, all their speakers, all their IRs were shot using this odd little triangle 112 cabinet. This sort of strange cabinet, but apparently it sounds crushing and it's really good for creating IRs. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being old school. I like my IRs in big cabinets, in 412s and 212s and things of that sort. But hey, we will. I'm not saying they sound bad by any means. These sound pretty terrific. So let's go here again. I've got the off axis there. I've got the on axis here. So now we're gonna blend things across as they did. Really strange. They don't phase? Oh, I'm a little annoyed now. There's a phasing issue with this? What the fuck? Now, if you guys are blending 2 IRs in a nadir and you're getting that in the middle, it's a really good, this is actually a good time because I've tried to explain this before, just with like words or like a sound I'm making. But check this out. This is when 2 IRs just, for some reason, don't want to align with each other. They do this. You notice in the middle there? I don't know if that's a phasing issue or not a phasing issue. It seems strange. It doesn't get thin enough to be a phasing issue, though. That's a very strange blending. That doesn't sound bad. I'm a little bummed out, though. I thought I had more with more of the DV77s, but I actually don't have a ton of them here, but I have a few. Ronnie Webster. Whoa! Cole, how are you? Jeez. Chris, how the hell are you, man? Holy cow. Wow. Guy just drops in. So now that the man himself is here, Chris, can you talk to me about like was it a selection process that you, because I'm noticing that I got the Kristian Kohle METAL IR Pack here. And as far as I'm understanding, are these IRs that you made, or is this some of your favorite IRs from the company? Maybe I misread. I have linear, angry, fat, clean scoop, presence boost. I'm assuming these are IRs that you made. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stefani? Gwen Stefani. Nope, it's not happening. Is she in the chat? Oh. Well, you didn't know the stream was about you. That's awesome. Anyways, let's just stick with these. This sounds really good. I want to try it through. And there's one question I want to ask Chris myself. And I don't know if he's going to want to answer it or not, but I'm not going to put him on. I don't want to put him on the spot. But Chris, I have to ask you in front of the troops here. There's only 6 people in here. We're all missing out. I'm gonna have to tell the boys that he's actually in the chat today. Holy crap. Boom. All right, Xander's gonna be here in a minute. Jake Gideon, every loader should have a way to visually align IRs. I don't disagree with you. Describe though. Describe what do you mean by visually? What is your favorite IR loader? IR loader. Jake Gideon. Speak of the devil. All Mesa 412s. Yes, those are my IRs. I'm good. Oh, okay, perfect. You make me feel important. Dude, I don't have to make you feel important. I don't have to make you. You know you're important. Although, you know what I did notice? Hang on. No, I don't have the file anymore. Never mind. Dang. I was going to... Anyways, Chris, one question I've wanted to ask in front of the troops here is why? Why don't you have... How come you don't have a signature amp sim suite? We would... I mean, I know your theory on, like, you know, sometimes you're a little... You might not be all the way on some plugins, but I think... I know of a developer that could definitely 100%, absolutely 300% bring home a Cole Keller Audio amp sim suite complete with the Brunetti and everything. I would love to see that happen. I don't even have to make it happen. I would just love to see you do a signature suite. Is there one in the works with someone maybe, or what's the story there? I've got to know. Yes, it is. Grindstein, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, the Grindstein is technically it. A signature plugin. Yeah, and I'm well acquainted with the Grindstein, as Chris and I and Luca worked kind of together on that. And I have a Grindstein pedal that was graciously I was hooked up with a pedal at a nice, very, very nice discount from Karsten and Chris. And it was a really fun project to work on. And I think that Grindstein plugin came out absolutely unbelievable. And if you haven't checked it out, it's with audio already. You guys can check it out right now. And it's affordable too. And you guys have seen it here before, and you guys know how I also use the Grindstein most often. The Grindstein, I used it most often in a parallel bass distortion. I use it for guitar as well when I record my Insolent Wretch albums. As you guys, I will show you guys one later, perhaps a song later. But for me, yeah, the Grindstein mostly comes out in parallel bass distortion with the gainier side, and boy does it do a good job. Holy smokes. Guitar IRs or bass IRs, it doesn't matter. If you know how to do parallel bass distortion, just try it on your distorted side and tell me I'm wrong. Anyways, we're going to go through, going to check out Ampcraft's 1992, it's Kazrog Ampcraft 1992. This is my favorite plugin on the earth ever made, and then some. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Chris. And if, you know what, I've got a couple ideas. I mean, you know everybody though. You know Luca, you know Daniel. You've worked with lots of different plugin companies. And I also, by the way, I've got the other one. I forgot about your other signature plugin. It lives in my streaming channel for when I need a little extra verb or something creepy. Here it is, the Rotten Pool verb. We forgot about that. Plug in it again. We're going to plug all these plugins. And if you guys don't remember, this is a plugin that, if I'm not mistaken, Aurora and Kohle Audio Cult. Why do I always call it the Kohle Killer Cult? I don't know. Anyway, Kohle Audio Cult and Aurora together did this. And then they did the April Fool's plugin with the play after. They're like, we did. You guys did the plugin with after the pool was torn down, and I still to this day, I don't think I've seen people lose their shit in such a weird way. They're just like, they were mad about that plugin. They were like mad that somebody took all that time for something. Like, they were angry about it, and everybody else thought it was funny, but there were a few people that were like, I'm so angry that I got fools. Anyway, if you haven't checked out Rotten Fool Verb from Aurora, you ought to, because who doesn't like having a few unique verbs around? Everybody's got halls. Everybody's got your average stock verbs, but this one is different. I'm telling you, it's creepier. It just is. All right, we're going to go back to this. Oh, that's not what I tried to do at all. All right, so I'm also using the Dead Horse, the Wavemind Dead Horse Overdrive, as they came out in the Protone pack. This thing is awesome. And of course, there are four skins. The jokes they just write themselves at this point. Let's go with skin 2 today. Oh, nope. It's trying to buck me today, folks. It's trying to buck me. I brought it from around the corner, and it's weird because where I bring my guitar from to stream, man. And of course, it's always the same string. It's always the same string. I bought the wrong set for this guitar this time out, and I'm paying for it. Oh my gosh, this is driving me absolutely bananas. And we've got like a really humid day going on. And if you live in a climate like I live in, when you're living next to the largest freshwater lake in the entire world, this lake does shit. I'm living literally 300 yards from the largest freshwater lake on this planet, and it does some really weird shit to guitars. If you live really close to the lake, or even in this just anywhere near it, It does a lot of really strange things for humidity, and it dries things out, and things continuously swap all the time. And yeah, the guitars be angry sometimes. I might have to switch guitars here today. I'm going to drive myself bananas. At least there's a good song on in the background. It's I think it's Song for, what is it again? Love Song for a Witch. I can never remember song titles. You guys have heard this one lots. Super weird song. All right. Also, I was finally acquainted with peeling flesh this week. Man, I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about it. Was that a fun plugin to make, though? I mean, I could ask Daniel. I'm not sure if I mentioned, Chris, but I'm working artist and creator relations for Aurora DSP now, but also working with several other developers at the same time. So it is what it is. I don't have the Strange Angles pack, dude. He didn't send it to me. I thought he did. We've got 5 IRs here. We're currently checking out the Kristian Kohle Metal IR Pack from Eminence. It has the DV77, Swamp Thang, CV75, and then we've got blended speakers and then speakers to be blended. We'll check out the blended speakers. Perfect blend. This is DV77, CV75. I would agree. That's fucking awesome. Wow. Whoa. I keep clicking the wrong stuff today. It's just been a long day. I can't even explain it. It's just been a long one, folks. Also, this has got some nice pedals up here. I'm using my own. There's an 808. There's a 66, aka the 33. We've got an HM2, which was the original, one of the first HM2s maybe ever made, was made by Kazrog, actually, in the Thermionic collection. And as you guys know, we're huge fans of the Thermionic collection, and we want to harass Shane to bringing it back to life. And then, of course, the drive. I've never been a fan of the Precision Drive in its analog form or a pedal or plug-in form at all. In fact, I would say it's one of my least favorite tube screamers on the market today. And that being said, though, it's nice to have it as an option for people that want that sort of thing. On the other hand, I'm going to use this today. I'm also going to use the Aurora DSP Unified Preamplifier, maybe a little bit as well. Sounds a little tubby right now, though, if I'm being honest. Sounds so funny playing that riff in C instead of B flat, because it's just like, it's not even that far off, but playing it up in C sounds like. But if you're listening to the Morbid Angel version, it's all. Yeah, you get it. Music speak is music speak. I'm not apologizing for anything. I'm trying different boosts today. We're having some fun in general. This is the Nembrini Audio Baus, aka a Marshall Governor. And if you've never tried a Governor in front of a 5150 before, you sure should, because it's a lot of fun. 3 speakers. What are the next plans? Is Chris still here? Yeah. And as Chris has mentioned, I'm a big fan of the Eminence, the Prototype 39. In fact, I tried my very best to some way, procure that speaker for Eddie, but it was a futile attempt. I didn't really think that I'd be able to procure one of the prototypes for the Karnivore, but nonetheless, you know, you lose 100% of the games you don't play. So you gotta be trying. I've got to throw something out for my boys there. But nonetheless, the 39, the prototype 39 is the one that stuck out to me. In fact, if you've purchased the Karnivore pack, blend all of those packs. I smell fire. It's a very odd smell. And I'm not sure where it's coming from, folks. Give me a second to investigate this. So, you know what, guys? It's almost time for my break anyway. I'm just going to take my break now instead of later. Guys, give me 2 or 3 here. Well, it would turn out to be nothing. But nonetheless, I'm not going to be one of those people that smells fire and doesn't go and investigate. Like, it was like, it smelled like electrical. You know, anybody that's any musician, I don't care if you're a drummer, a guitar player, a singer, bass player, keyboard player. Every single one of you all that's ever used analog gear knows the smell of burnt electronics. Why? Because we've all blown something up before. I think all of us have blown something up. Am I right? Can we hands up? Hands up for people that have blown up an amp or melted an amp or roasted an amp in some way, or have at least seen or smelled that. You know the smell. And so when you smell that and there's not currently electronics that you know about that are burning, you might want to investigate just to make sure it's not coming from your house. It turns out it was outside. All right. Anyways, holy shit. We got lots of people in. Well, we got 8 people in here. The really dark carnivore. Man. Hey, Chris, you just named the pack. The Dark Carnival, a.k.a. the Dark Karnivore. Come on. By popular request, can we get a pack or like a small pack or something? We would love to work somehow. Even if you want to collab with us at some point, although I'm not sure that would work with the whole Eminence thing. But if it ever comes to it, that you're going to do something with that, man, I just found so many different blends. Even if do you have other files of the 39 that even I could check out and research for research purposes, of course? Let me know. My hair. What hair, dude? I don't have any hair. It's not that I'm balding. It's just like I haven't had hair in. I've been shaving my head I've shaved my head every 2 weeks since I was 20. I haven't had hair longer than, there was one time I let it grow at about this much, and then it was just like every day looking at it, because you get to that in between stage, you're like, I'm gonna grow my hair, and then it gets to that, if you're used to shaving your head, that in between stage is a lot shorter. You know, a lot of people try growing their hair, and the in between stage is like here, where that mushroom cutty thing starts happening, and you don't really know what to do with your hair, because you're trying to grow it out, but that middle section, man, that is it's a lot to go through. A lot of people put those things in their hair where they put it back, and that's what I would choose. But for people that shave their head all the time, it starts to feel long when it gets to be about like this. If your hair, if you're used to shaving your head every 2 weeks, or even every week, or some people do it every day. I know a guy that bicks his head every day, but nonetheless, if your hair is this long and you're used to shaving your head, you're like, you look at it in the mirror and you're like, just what's happening here? It's, ugh. That's for me anyways. Anyways, let's keep going. We're just hanging out. Kristian is in the chat if you have any questions for him, as I tend to do. And I know Eddie's got some questions, because Eddie is a speaker. Eddie is, by the way, Chris, Eddie is the AmpSim Universe speaker nerd, speaker ninja, IR ninja. He is, I would love for you to try some of his IRs, actually, if he hasn't already pointed you in the way, in the right direction. His stuff is available on Tone Hunt under Sharface. And I would love some of your thoughts, because I think for a guy that has not been at it for very long, Eddie has some unbelievable skill. And I'm going to say that, like, I'll toot the horn of everybody on this team. Every single person we have on this team is absolutely up to here smart on some level in this industry. With me, I feel like it's the marketing side and the creator side and the relations side. Like, there's a lot of things that I feel like my knowledge is kind of up here, whereas Bo, he knows my knowledge is this, and Bo is up here. Eddie, when it comes to speakers, my knowledge is about that much, and Eddie's, I can't even measure with my two arms in comparison. So we really appreciate having him on staff. Also, as if we are in a scenario where we need even more, like the big guns, Dr. Mike Santaciero, Dr. Bonkers himself. I always got to advocate for Dr. Bonkers out there, because, man, the dude is just such a ninja. So, Chris, if you haven't tried his packs as well, please do. All right, we're going to get back to some tones. I'm going to switch over to the Fortin. I did it again. Damn it. I'm so glad I haven't exploded anyone's eardrums. Oh. Anyways, let's get rid of I'm going to bring the Govna back, but Govna. Why do I have to do the little British, the little Govna? I'm not sure. If you haven't tried a Marshall Governor, though, you really should. It's a fucking absolute crusher. And we are going to take away, and I'm going to go back to the start of this pack here. And we're going to... I really should have switched guitars. Switch guitars. All right, got to turn this up. Man, it's just absolutely nasty for tuning today. My Iceman is usually pretty good. I say it all the time that I'm going to change these tuners, and then I never do, because then I'll have a couple of really good streams where it just does not go out of tune, and I'll be very confident in it. But currently, I think it's just the gauges. I usually like going through 4 wound strings, and there are only 3 wound strings in this set. I purchased the wrong set and just did not want to drive back to the music store and I'm regretting it every minute. I really wish I had just driven back and got the other strings, because, man, I really, really absolutely hate a plain call it a plain G. I hate a plain G in any tuning lower than D standard. It absolutely has to be 4 wound strings for me. And I didn't do that, and it's like you hear resonance, thunk, twang, nice. So it's twang, thunk, resonance. I absolutely cannot stand it. So I'm sitting here like wishing I had changed the guitar. We're gonna give it one more shot, then I might piece this out. Again, like it's just not cooperating. Yeah, it's time for new tuners. They make them so cheap now on places like Geiker and all the other nice places. Like Geiker makes some really awesome shit, guys. I don't care if it's made in China. Why? Because I live in Canada, where we don't have to pay the crazy Chinese tariffs right now. And it's not, we're not talking, no politics in here. I don't know if tariffs are specifically political or if it's just something, because like right now, that's kind of weird. There's some stuff happening. So I'm not buying a lot. It's not political to mention that I'm not purchasing things really from the United States right now. It's just because I can't afford it when it comes back and I have to pay a bunch more money. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but we're not going to talk about politics. All I'm saying is buy Geiker. Unless, of course, you live in the United States. I guess there are heavy tariffs for things from China, I think, but you can still, I don't know how it works. It's where it was manufactured, not where it was sold, right? So, I don't know. You'd have to look into that. This is legitimate. I'm not talking politics. It's legitimate because we're telling you or recommending anything ever now. At this point, we have to start thinking about these extra costs. So I have to think, am I recommending something that's going to get you guys a bunch of extra fees? So always look into the extra fees that may be accrued. Okay. So we won't even mention tariffs or anything like that. I'm just going to say, please look into what it costs to import things from other countries. All right. So I actually kind of want to dip back because I find the DV77 to be kind of dark. And the reason I think that's going to be really good for Nameless Suite here is because Nameless Suite is brighter than like 10 suns. So nice. And I know it has the grind pedal on right now, and I still don't mind it. I'm not really a big fan of the grind pedal. By the way, how's the music volume today? I'm curious. I find myself shouting a lot. So we're going to back that off. And I'm just going to chill with a bunch of different stuff today, as mentioned. Oh, holy shit. Oh, that's okay. So far, that's our tone of the day. That chord is supposed to sound like that. I know it's ugly. Wow. Ah! This fucking sim is so good. And it just blends well with so many different IRs. I have probably put 500 different IRs through this plugin over the years, at least 500 IRs through this plugin. And I can tell you that this plugin just plays well with other IRs. I don't advise using their loader. I always say that with a lot of plugins, just bypass the post effects, bypass the cat. If you want to use your own IRs, it's always better to use a loader. They always, like the companies, the AmpSim companies, they just give you a bare bones most of the time. And Nembrini Audios is really good, but Neural DSPs is pretty. I mean, I personally don't like anything that doesn't have, at very least, the ability to jog around in a folder. Like, I don't have to. It's so terrible when you have to audition IR by like one after another while actually having to open the file window. You can't, there's no backward. This one, at least they give you the backward forward arrow, but excuse me, cat hair. Man, so weird. How weird is it that I just played Propaganda and this came on? And like 2 seconds later on a song list with like 1,000 songs in it. And if you haven't heard Propaganda before, goodness me, please go listen to this band. They are a Canadian treasure. Chris Hanna is a personal friend. Todd is also a personal friend. And please do, I have to plug this band. I just want to pinch their cheeks right here. These are two of the two dudes on the right. Well, actually, they're all amazing people, but the two dudes on the right are two of the nicest human beings and most amazing human beings on the planet for a band that is just huge. I helped get Chris and Todd into plugins. Well, I know Chris, I helped get it Chris. Todd, I mean, Todd I haven't met as many times, but still, Chris, I've helped him get into plugins. Amazing, awesome person. So, and I've actually talked to him in the past about a signature effort. So it'd be interesting to see what that would be. Not a lot of punk bands out there that have their own signature plugins. So please do check them out. I love to promote Canadian artists whenever I can. I got to go to the comments here. I don't think I've responded to anything in forever. You guys are just ripping and I'm just letting you guys just tear it up. Wow, we're way... Holy shit. You guys are flying today. I love this. That's great. We got to have guests more often, guys. See you later, Chris. I didn't get a chance to say good, later when he was saying goodbye because I was running my mouth, as usually I do. It's quite late in Austria, though. So, man, he hung out with us till almost midnight. So, man, thank you very much to Chris for stopping by. He just stopped by. He didn't even see his name in this. I didn't tell him either. That's so crazy. I didn't tell him. Like, I talked to him, and I did tell him on Instagram that we were going to do some stuff with his packs and that I was going to let him know that he should stop into the chat sometime. But I didn't think it was going to be today. That was like, oh, my God, he actually showed up. That's pretty fun. Usually guests I've worked out ahead of time. That was that. Usually guests I've worked out ahead of time and I know they're going to show up, but it's really nice when people like Thomas McCrocklin, she seems to show up fairly often, which is really cool. And we have people that show up quite often in here, and that's awesome. I love having that. It's been a while since we saw Cody at a Roar Tone, though. That'd be nice to see him again. And I'd love to get Daryl Meinzinger in here for a stream. So I think I'm going to talk to Daryl and see if I can get Daryl Meinzinger in here for a stream to talk about the Tempest and talk about some of the other stuff he's got going on. Yeah, dude, Propaganda is so sick. Like, absolutely one of the most... Anytime... They are a band that anytime that someone says, punk bands fucking suck, they can't even play music. Man, do I... that is one of the conversations that I've always reveled. Everybody has that that conversation that they have all the ammo in the world. Like, in their pocket, they have an arsenal of rebuttals, and they have a mic drop after mic drop after mic drop, just sitting in their pockets waiting for the right moment. So every time, and it's happened a lot because I have a lot of metal friends, and when I lived in a metal house, and I infected a lot of people with punk rock. In fact, one guy that moved in said he fucking hated punk rock. I can't fucking stand punk rock. He fucking hated it. He didn't want to listen to it. He would leave the room when we started listening to punk rock. And now the dude is like, loves punk rock so much to the point where now I think it's actually, he listens to more punk than metal. But it's hilarious in that one of the things that I've gotten a lot is, man, punk rock fucking sucks. They can't even play music. Boy, do I have. That's right there. I'm just like, what? Really? And then you're just like, you start cracking your knuckles. All right, let's get this over with. It's gonna hurt. Are you sure? You know, like, I will bring you to the depths of your soul. I will take away everything that is happy to you if you come to me and tell me that punk rock musicians suck and they can't play music. I will destroy you. There's just so many amazing punk rock bands that have sick skills that can absolutely shred. And if you're like Xander Bananas, he is one person that I know absolutely has that list in his pocket. Like, really? Oh yeah? And there's like, wow. He gets his little reading glasses on. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna have Strung Out and Lagwagon. You have Lagwagon? Yeah, Lagwagon. We're gonna talk about Choke. And yep, write that down. CHOK. Yep, absolutely. And even NoFX. NoFX is one of the most talented bands on the earth when it comes to playing super awesome skate punk. Fast, technical. Oh, NoFX sucks, do they? Then you put on the Decline and you make them sit through the entire Decline. And if you don't know what NoFX the Decline is, I need you to go listen to that right now or immediately after the stream, because that band puts on an absolute fucking clinic on how to absolutely destroy everyone at punk rock. And the dude plays a sick ass bass solo that there are even bass instructors that look at that bass solo like, man, that dude should not be playing that. Like, how is that possible that hammered drunk oompa, like full grown, full life size oompa loompa looking dude with, like, how does that guy play? What? Matt Freeman, another good point. And yes, we are in ranting. 10 people in here. It's nice to see you guys today. I am going to be here for a while. It is going to be a time today. I have nothing to do except for plan for disc golf and maybe watch some movies. The wife is out of the house this evening, so I'm probably just going to get... it's probably going to be a bit of a solo tear tonight. Going to play some Red Dead Redemption 2. Finally getting into that game. And if you're like, what the fuck? We're talking about gaming now? Yeah, we talk about games in here all the time. It's been a while since I've seen Kyle Hunter, so I'm kind of missing. If there's anybody in here that watches WWE regularly, I need to get my wrestling chat on sometimes too. So there's that. This tone though, guys. Woo! Oh, you never hear the guitar in the back of this. Oh my gosh, that's a heavy riff. That song doesn't get credit for having a real heavy riff. Probably because the chorus riff is not that heavy, but it's like that main riff, it's heavy. Hey, you know what though? You can't stand punk rock. Okay, that's a different story. I don't care if you can't stand it, but you got to be. But if you're telling me you can't stand it because the bands all suck at their instruments, then we have a problem. I very much do not like jazz music, but you'd never in a million fucking years hear me say that jazz players can't play. What? This is the most ridiculous thing you could ever say that would ever come out of your mouth. I heard people all the time talking shit on jazz, and I don't like it, but I don't have to like what you do with your talent to respect how much talent you have. You know what I mean? Like soccer. I couldn't give a fuck about soccer, but boy, those people are talented. Tennis, same thing. Don't give a fuck about tennis, But those are some of the most in shape human beings on the fucking planet, so a lot of respect goes out to them. I think that the entire music landscape would be a lot better off if people just stopped hating on shit for no reason and just started being able to respect things even if they don't like them. However, then there is just bad music as well. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, there's a lot of bad punk rock, but there's a lot of bad metal too. There's a lot of punk rock that sounds like the human beings playing it can't really play their instruments, so I don't blame you there. But if you're basing your theory on punk rock musicians cannot play because one time I listened to the Sex Pistols, that is not going to be enough of a leg to stand on. That's like you're standing on a toothpick right above a bunch of alligators, and we're all going to get you. So, Pedro, what's going on, brother? Nice to see you. How you feeling? Yeah. Played with a pick. Absolutely. Fat Mike's bass lines do sound like Steve Harris bass lines played with a pick. And he plays the worst bass. He used to play Fender P basses. And those were awesome because Fender P basses are punk rock. But at some point, he started playing that stupid Dan Electro bass. And it's so fucking ugly. It's the ugliest bass that ever uglied. And you think, why are you playing that? And that's why. He's playing it because he knew it was probably really comfortable and he probably just liked the way it played. But if there was even an inkling to Fat Mike that playing that bass might have had people asking questions or pissed somebody off, that was probably more reason to play that particular instrument. Jake Kiley is an absolute monster. I actually interviewed Jake for Honest Amson reviews back in the day. He does use plugins a lot, and both guys in that band, everyone they've had in that band, Protest the Hero, some would argue is not punk rock. Some would argue because they started as kind of a skate punk band, a little bit, sort of like a tech. They were kind of tech skate punk, and they came up in the same. Scene in the Southern Ontario scene as a lot of skate punk bands did, and they played a lot of shows with skate punk bands. I know because I booked them with skate punk bands. I also booked Protest the Hero at a metal festival that I used to do that I'm not going to mention the name of because reasons. It was it had something to do with a lake. I'll tell you that. Anyways, it was just they're just awesome people to work with. Protest the Hero. Another band that I could see having a signature offering coming out at some point if they got behind one. I would love that. Oh, I would love that. Anyways, how the fuck are you guys? What are you guys up to this weekend? Do tell me in the chat as I drink my can of root beer. I love my Fender Aerodyne. Oh, you want Tony Hawk memories? You want to know what song I added the other night? It's not guitar, guys, and I'm sorry if you don't like rap, but I had to show it because we were listening to fast rap, and my wife was like, "Oh, I've never heard anything faster than this song." And the song we were listening to was fast, but it wasn't that fast. And I was like, "Oh, you want to hear fast? How about this guy? How about Tony Hawk Nostalgia?" I added it last night.
I'm just here to hold your hand when you die and to show you around imaginary places. Put the muddy lumps in my bloody stump, and the bull have a smile. There's a perfect circle. Die in your sleep with the sky at your feet. I'll shoot you when you're happy on it, then you will find peace. How did you do? I don't know. I'm okay. Every person
So fast.
Cause I'm accused of lewd conduct. Stole the heart to rape her prom side, and I got a woman for my arrest. Put me in a little bit of funny farm because of what I did, but I'm just here to hold your hand when you die. There was not a single person who could do it better. No need to skip it in my ecosystem, but in the audience, me believe a Christian ain't you know how I hate himself.
What a weird song, but yet that's Tony Hawk all day for me. In fact, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 soundtrack? Sounds good to me. Let's do it. We're going to listen to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack. And I'm actually going to, I totally forgot we bought the new 3 and 4. So I'm going to definitely have to jump into that and play it at some point really soon. Have you guys played it yet? We talk about video games here too. Obviously, if you guys haven't played it yet, the Tony Hawk redos, I saw somebody say, "Oh, I played the old ones. I don't need the new ones. Oh, it's just a money grab." It's not. It reinvents these games and makes them so fucking fun to play again. It's all the nostalgia is there. They have redone everything. Everything looks way better. You don't have to jump on. He's like, my brother said the same thing. Oh, I've got all the old ones and all the old systems. Good for you. You know, like, this is a different thing entirely. And I jumped right in. I didn't even ask questions. That game could have been $200 and I would have had to save a little bit or wait for a sale, but I still would have jumped in. All right, so we're hanging out today, and we've been mostly doing stuff with the Kristian Kohle Metal IR Pack. So I just kind of want to do a little bit more with the Fort Nameless suite. Yeah, it sounds great. Now we can start. Now I brought back some of the low end. Let's jump into this for a second. We can probably set this up a little bit better. Anyways, this is my Ibanez Iceman. It has a Bill Lawrence USA L500XL, my favorite bridge pickup probably ever made, along with a Gibson Classic 57. Are they paired well? Not particularly, actually. Not really. I don't know that I've ever really liked this pickup that much. Although it sounds good it does sound good. This was basically intended to play mostly doom and kind of rock stuff, not really metal as much, but it kind of works for just about anything because this pickup is super versatile. Hey, yeah, kids, if you really want to piss off your parents, get into the arts. Man, the 1-2, we played honestly, my wife is my dream woman because like she grew up on Tony Hawk as well. And when this came out, we both kind of looked at each other and was just like, we've got to get it. And I'm just like, oh, let's pinch your cheeks. You're so cute, kind of scenario. And so we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Why is it giving me this song? Oh, because, that's weird. We just listened to this. So it already got nuked once for copyright for the same song. Can I get nuked twice? I've never really played. Has anybody played Rage in like lower tunings? Let's try that again. By the way, I finally got news about my surgery. Apparently, I'll be getting some surgery on my wrist in November. And that works for me because as of November, I have absolutely nothing to do except for be cold. So I'm going to be trying to figure out a way that I'm not sure how long it's going to be before I'll be able to play guitar again. And so I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to figure something out. Maybe we'll get together weekly and we'll do something like like Sundays with Ola are almost where, kind of going over current events in music. Current events in music, you're talking about different guitars that have come out. It's not going to be a complete rip off. It'll still have our signature feel around this community. It'll still be very much amp sim based as well. We'll be talking about more products. We'll be looking at product lines and selections. So tell me if in the comments, if that's something you guys would still tune in for, or should I just kind of take a break for entirely for a couple of months? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think, and we can discuss. I actually had, I'd been kind of almost nervous to look up anything about this particular surgery. It's a scaphoid bone removal surgery. I don't really know much about fuck all, and because I'm kind of worried about it. They've given me a bit of information and told me that I'm gonna have roughly the same range of motion I have now. If you guys notice, this is my range of motion with my left. And this is my range of motion with my right. If I push it really hard, this is all fucked. Everything in here is fucked. So essentially, as I've explained it to everyone, this bone, when I was 23 years old, I broke this bone. How do I say this in a nice way? I broke this bone in my wrist punching somebody. So 23 years old, it was a different time in my life. So I broke this bone, and oh man, I forgot about this song. I was like, why is it playing rap? Anyways, long story long, this bone has been, they told me it was just a sprain, sent me away with a cast, cut my cast off, said it was fine. You're a fucking, you're a broke punk kid. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't care. And my doctor kept on telling me, I'm continuously going back to my doctor telling him, there's something going on still in here. He's like, yeah, you broke it. It did, maybe, I don't think it healed properly, and you're going to be getting arthritis in it eventually. You play a lot of softball, you drum, do all this other stuff. Eventually that arthritis is going to come. It's going to come for you. And so he just kept on passing it off as arthritis. So eventually I got a new doctor. My old doctor passed away. Rest in peace. He was a super, super rad doctor. He was actually, I know this particular scenario seems a little neglectful, but he was actually quite a good doctor. Helped me through a lot. Anyways, new doctor says, hey, that's not normal. Even for arthritic scenarios, none of this is normal. We're going to get you some x-rays. They looked at it. She's like, yeah, so you've had a break for 23 years. It's now chronic because it will not heal. It's been broken and rehealed and tried to half heal and quarter healed. And you just kept on breaking it to the point where that bone is essentially useless and it's causing you nothing but problems. So they got to remove this, and they have to fuse all the other bones together. If you look at an x-ray of your hand, there's essentially like it looks kind of like four big bones. Now this one has to come out. These ones need to be fused together for stability. So that's what I'm going to get done. And I'm hoping you guys are cool with dropping in and seeing what's up. Lubach. Is it Lukbach or Lukbach? You have a link for the DV77. Which one? Here it's Eminence. IR packs. Here we are. This is one we're using right now. This was $70. $70. Eskimo Callboy? What's Eskimo Callboy? Does it mean electric callboy? Who's Eskimo Callboy? I don't know that band. Nonetheless, and I'm not chirping the price because this is Canadian dollars, okay? By the way, Canadian dollars, not American dollars. So don't even look at the price. Figure out what the price is for you. And we've discussed what having an actual production standpoint on IRs, how valuable it is. So honestly, it's very strange. IRs, some companies back in the day, they started charging like $20 for a pack, or $15 for a pack, or $25 for a pack. It was never, you never saw IR packs soar above like $20-25. And I think that kind of set the bar quite low, because these things are not easy to make. They are very time consuming, and and I wouldn't even say it's fun. Making an IR pack is not even, it's a labor of love, man. And you have to love it, as Eddie is firmly I'm sure firmly in agreement that Eddie understands that, like, there's not really a lot, especially right now, there's not a lot of money to be made in IRs because of the amount of time it takes to make them really well. Man, this song too. Oh man. Bad Religion is a band that I never really got down with, but I never hated them. I always enjoyed their music, but I was never like, yeah, Bad Religion. You know, I was like, oh man, cool, Bad Religion. You know, it's like I've seen them live like 5 times, not on purpose. Saw them with other bands I was going to see. And you tell somebody you've seen Bad Religion like 4 or 5 times, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, not on purpose though. It's like same as Less Than Jake. I've seen Less Than Jake so many times. I honestly cannot even remember how many times. Because I lived right in the middle of ska punk central Canada. You know, the Canadian version was Montreal at that point. That was the epicenter of all of that. And Jake, man, Less Than Jake they were through a lot. And I saw them in Minneapolis. I saw them in Montreal when I lived there. I saw them in Toronto. I've seen them not on purpose, like randomly on a tour and going this way and that. And like, man, it was weird. I broke it and it didn't set right. Absolutely, I did. The break wasn't even that bad. I remember it hurting when I did it. And it wasn't even like I punched somebody in anger. It was literally a shot for shot competition until somebody said, ow. It was just dumb drunk dude shit. And when I was 23, I spent probably 364 and a half of those days that year drunk. When I was 21 to let's say 19 to 25, I was drunk. That was it. I was drunk and I was playing music. That was that. And probably causing some sort of trouble. You could fret the guitar and Miss Hazard could strum. Teamwork makes the... Fuck, I almost did it. You stop it. Somebody at one point, there's a movie quote. Somebody says that in a movie, and it's in a voice that is no longer allowed. For myself, I could not do the impression of this line in this particular movie without seeing myself in considerable, and without seeing some very furrowed brows. So I will not, but I almost fucking did it because every time my wife says that, she knows what to do to say to get me to trigger me to say things that make her laugh. So she will say, teamwork makes the dream work, and I will say it in the way that I say it, and she will laugh. And I know that she's just baiting me because she knows it's triggered. It's certain things that you will say if you do certain things, like, for example, one of the worst lyrics that could possibly be in my mind. I'm going to say, okay, somebody in this comment section is going to know where I'm going with it, and I'm not going to say yes or no. We're going to move along. But when someone says dinner time, I immediately go into a song. Immediately go into it's like it's a sickness almost that, like, I've heard this song so many times that at this point when someone says dinner time or dinner time, I automatically go into this lyric, and I'm not going to sing it because, okay, but nonetheless, it's just, that's another trigger. Luke Bach, hold on, I gotta go back. Yeah, Luke Bach, there is a lot of The one DB77 pack that I thought I was going to have today. Let me see if I got it yet. Hold on. I got to check my email. See if I got it. I fucking hated this song. This is the dude from... So this is a series. It's Rob Zombie's brother in this band, right? Spider. Are you ready to go? 'Cause I'm ready to go. Last night, I was doing my Disturbed and Dave Draymond impressions for the wife because she was going away. I just wanted to make her laugh a bunch. And so last night, I was doing full volume Dave Draymond impressions. And if I ever do it on here, you guys will understand that it is my karaoke go-to. If there's ever karaoke happening, I have 5 songs. Tell me in the comments if you guys sing karaoke or if you're ever faced with karaoke, what are your go-tos? I will tell you mine. I've got Down with the Sickness, Stupefy. I've got Plush by Stone Temple Pilots. I have Green Day, Basket Case. That's always on that list. And if I really want to pull on the heartstrings, I'll do Hotel California. And I can do a good job of all those songs. But I'm telling you right now that everyone that has ever seen my Dave Draymond impression at full volume while I was inebriated laughed at it. Not one person ever said that sucked. So someday I hope I get to do it for you guys because it really makes me happy to do it. And if you've never had, like, what's your favorite singer impression? Tell me that in the comments as well. We're gonna switch amp sims. I'd like to go back to, I started with the Omega Ampworks Granifier from Neural DSP. And I kind of want to go back to it because I don't feel like we meshed. I don't think we made sweet love, you know? I know I'm about to bypass the plumes and Eddie's like, oh, what are you doing? That's so heavy. Oh, I missed the goddamn thing. What are you doing? Charlie Crease, what's going on? This fucking song. Man, I'm not going to lie to you. There are some songs in here that cause me a little bit of like video game anger PTSD. Let's just not do this. As always, when we come back to the Tassim stream playlist, if you guys are, hey man, we got 2 saves. 2 of y'all saved this playlist. I don't know why. But if you're ever curious of anything we're listening to in the stream, it's usually all in here. And if you're really curious, ask me. And sometimes it kind of gets past me when people ask, but they're always in here. And there's not that many songs to go through. There's like, there's only about 555 actually. I thought there was like 1,000, but either way, there's some fun songs. I got to add more to it though, because I hear a lot of the same. But the algorithm, guys, the algorithm irritates the shit out of me. Because I look through this I scroll through here, and there are a lot of songs I never hear. Don't you guys, doesn't it drive you absolutely nuts about Spotify as the algorithm? The shuffle algorithm is phenomenally broken. There are songs in my playlists I never hear. Never. I never hear them. And that just baffles me. Like, when was the last time we heard no effects in this? And honestly, I don't remember the last time. So we're going to do it now. Yeah, punk rock bands can't play though, right? Xander, I know you're familiar with that song. You want to hear a real trip? I've always felt that the girl that sings in the middle part, I've always felt that it sounds just like someone just recorded Russ from Good Riddance on helium. Next time you listen to it, listen to that song. Actually, we're gonna just listen to it right now. You guys tell me. We're not even gonna get into Good Riddance right now. But still, go listen to Good Riddance, listen to Russ sing, and then listen to the middle part of Lori Myers. Example. Russ on helium. Just like everything about the delivery, the way she sings is just like Russ from Good Riddance, only just way up here. Man, Kyle's here? Kyle! We were just asking where you been, brother. We have so much to catch up on for wrestling, man. Yo, brother, you can message me on Facebook anytime you want if you want to chat wrestling too. Obviously, you're a busy man. I know. You're a busy man. You can't join us anymore. Do you think, hold on. Whew. It's awesome to fix scoop mids. Greets to Canada. Well, thank you very much. Sorry I'm missing comments today, guys. Kyle, man, it's good to see you. How about AJ Lee? Man, I'm a happy man. I'm a happy guy. So happy. It was trying to hold back the enthusiasm while the wife was sitting next to me. Anyways. She digs it though. She's a big fan. She didn't know who she was, but she just started watching wrestling. She just started getting back into it, like I did as well. Love me some Good Riddance. Who doesn't? Say his name, and I guess that's from now on when we do that, that's it. From now on, when that happens, and it seems to happen often, it almost seems to happen quite often. We're gonna do it when it does happen from now on.
He appears, I believe.
We're not gonna listen to it at the end tonight, though. We'll listen to something else. We can't double play. We're gonna have to double play it. No, she hasn't aged a fucking day. And like, holy shit. As soon as she came out, my wife's just like, wow, look at that woman's six pack. And then she found out like they're the same age. And she's like, fuck, like, holy shit. Man, she looks terrific. Oh, I just love her character so much. It's fantastic. And to like, oh, hang on, something in my eye. I actually thought I'd avoid this by using drops, but there's been something in my eye all day. I don't know if it's a hair, what it is, but I'm gonna have to try to get it out later. Get it out! You get it out! Show of hands. And did anybody end up watching that Little Mountain Studio documentary or the Jesus Christ. Yeah. Any of those. How's it going, Bo? Nice to see you. Absolutely. Holy cow. Did I get it? Ooh, I might have got it. We might have got it, folks. We might have got it. Oh, I broke my fucking glasses thing. I'm an absolute train wreck today, guys. Train wreck. little bit of mug root beer. Sims amp sims, yeah. Right now I'm using a 300 watt old Randall power amp from the 70s, and it does me right. Solid state? Yeah, eh? Well, 300 watts it has to be. Well, no, it doesn't have to be, but you get it. Hold on. The one I hate. When did you ever think I hated the Gratifier? There's no universe that is you must have misheard something, sir. Because this has been in my top metal plugins since it came out. Spirits Crusher. Spirit. How fun would it be to do, like, we've seen several plugins based on tones of players that had passed away. Who do you guys think will be, or should be the next guitar player that has since passed to get a plugin? That is an interesting question. Because we know Dime has one, Jimi Hendrix. What are some other ones? Damn it. That is driving me up the fucking wall. I gotta figure out what's in my eye right after the stream. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, the STL Gratifier. I like this one so much, and I find that this one is just so good. And I didn't find that one really hammered it in there. That's just me though. Yeah, I don't know. I really should go back and give it another shot. It's one thing I know about STL, it's that they really like to nail amps. Like, they really like to get as close as they can. So in this particular scenario, excuse me, also, I don't know which tube type is in the amp that they modeled, actually, because this one's got the 3. Of course, this amp will actually run different types of tubes. But in this particular situation, I'm not sure which one the STL one actually has. So I've got the KT66, seems to be the way to go today on this one, because this tone sounds ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Holy fucking chugs. Oh my god, there's just so many chugs. Wowzers. Fuck. Wow. Yeah, man, you can't fight that. I can see why you're pissed off. I get it. You can't fight it, though. You can try, but you can't fight it. And amp builders, I can see. And yes, I would be fucking pissed off, too. I would be fucking pissed. Just like the dude from Soldano was probably fucking pissed the first time somebody did a Soldano. But then guess what? He eventually did a plugin, a signature. It was amazing. And I'm sure the guys from Angle, although Angle has seemed to be kind of on the forefront of being like, they accepted it from day one because Angle has had plugins for a long time. Like I think the oldest Angle plug, the licensed Angle plugin is like 12 or 13 years old at this point. Something close to that, at least 10 years old. At very minimum, 10 years old. The original Angles, like the Victor Smolsky and the Retro Tube. Those have been around for a day or two, right? So they've kind of been there. I can see a lot of companies are probably pissed. I know one. I actually had one pedal. Oh, this was pretty incredible, actually. I had one pedal builder I reached out to once told me that he would sue me. I asked him, I was reaching out and I said, hey man, you know, there's a plugin company that is interested in doing a licensed version of your plugin and, you know, doing a revenue split and whatever. And the email came back, it was absolutely fucking not. If any, you know, threatening, you know, legalities and absolutely fucking not this and that, the other thing. I will sue you first. If anybody puts out a plugin, I don't even care if you had anything to do with it, and just like really mad. All based on a boost pedal. A boost pedal. The guy was such a fucking cock. I'll say that word. That probably just got me put in some algorithm, but the guy was just an absolute unit of a jerk. Over a boost pedal that he probably boosted most of. Like you can't copyright a schematic. You can't. You can rather a circuit. You can't, as far as I understand. And because if you go through these amps, a la maybe the Granifier, maybe not the Granifier, but if you go through a lot of these amps today, the biggest of amps, there's original framework from tons of other, like the original creators. Like Mesa Boogie, for example. Mesa Boogie did not invent every single solitary process inside a rectifier. They got ideas from somebody else at some point. It's like just like Soldano got a lot of their ideas from Marshall, and Friedman got a lot of ideas from, and everybody got ideas from Marshall, and Marshall got ideas from Fender. And we're back to it. So this is an interesting conversation. I love this conversation actually because I've seen it really change over the years. The one I talked to you about just now was about 5 years ago. Let's say 4 or 5 years ago. So since then, I've noticed an absolute huge shift in that now a lot of these analog builders are actually like, you know what, if we can't beat them, we gotta join them, and that is it. We have to get involved if we want a really great plugin with our name on it, and we want to make all these other ones as irrelevant as possible. That's what I would do. If I was one of these analog amp builders, I would just go out and I would hire the best in the business. I would find out. I would do my research. I would find the best in the business in the amp sim world. I would go to that company, as long as it wasn't one of the companies that had already put out like a mock of one of my designs. And I would go to the best company available that didn't already do my amp, my theoretical missile, my fantasy amp that we're talking about. And I would go out and I would hire the best people possible. And I don't even care if I made $1 fucking on that plugin. I would just want that plugin to be as good. I'll give you 100% of the profits. You can keep all of it and use my name. As long as you make a plugin that's better than, that kicks the absolute piss out of all these other 2 or 3 that are roasting me right now. That's all I want from you. That would be an amazing thing to see. I would love, and there are some big balls analog builders out there that big brass balls. They're not hiding behind a computer screen. These guys know how to work. A lot of these guys are just, they don't take any shit. And I like this. They're not getting pissed off anymore. Now they're like, well, like if we can't beat them and we can't fucking do anything about this, well, we might as well join them and make our own. And I like that. I like that we're getting that now. 14 people in the house. Nice to see you. Nice to see everyone. Let's get to the chat. Really? So, like, I'd like to see the comment, though. Ralph Santola from Dia's side. Interesting. Wait a minute. Isn't Jack Owen? He's playing in Dia's side right now, too, right? Or he was? I don't know. Neural DSP seems like they're due for a new amp sim. It's been a while since the sooner thing. Yeah, but like, the only way another archetype's gonna work is if they fucking change the fucking record. Okay? No more, God, like, no, God, give us, like, if you're gonna do another Grandifier, or sorry, not another Grandifier, if you're gonna do another archetype, like, get outside, like, get out even more outside, find something. They've already done a pretty good job. They've, you know, you've got Corey Wong, you've got Tom Morello, you've got John Petrucci, you've got a pretty widespread bunch of artists, but nothing that creates, the next one just cannot create overlap. There are already a few that, in my opinion, create some overlap that you don't need to own. There's like at least 2 or 3 of those that you don't need to own. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There is no reason anybody needs to own the Neural DSP Tim Henson archetype. Nobody. It does not sound good. Nothing about that plugin sounds good. I just don't think, because he's not a tone guy. He's a hands guy. His tone is in his style. His tone is in his playing. It's just like a Bossy. Yep. Just like there's several of those players in that. There's just a few of those plugins I just don't think you need. My opinion. But everyone has, that's the good thing about those plugins, is I'll say there's probably, let's just say, I'm not going to say even just the Tim Henson plugin. There's probably 2 or 3 of those plugins that nobody needs. When it, like, doesn't matter what style you are, there's going to be some overlap no matter what style you're kind of versed in playing in. I think they've also spent a lot of time on the X versions, which arguably are kind of new plugins, but some of them are good and some of them are not so good. I don't know. It would be, yeah, that's my opinion for the next release from Neural DSP. It's going to be something like, it's going to be a licensed thing, I think. What was their last release? Which was their last tonality? Or not tonality. They're all blended together at this point. Which was their last archetype? Or their last release? The Morgan amps? No. Anyways, yeah. So we've been chatting along today, chatting a lot, and playing a lot, playing a bit less. This is a great plugin, though. If you haven't tried the free trial of this, get it. We are not using the cabinet today. All the cabinets you've been hearing have been in the Kristian Kohle Metal IR Pack. And now that we're gonna kind of branch out a little bit. I want to try some of the CV75. I'm not really that familiar with this speaker, so let's check it out. Ho, that was second one. Oh my God. Oh. Gotta calm down here. My goodness gracious. Wow. Wow. That's definitely really cool sounding. The CV75 also sounds ripping. If the Rabia, yeah, and I think that like some of those are cool. I just wish like someone would see like those cool units and then just release one for guitar. Like I wish there was just like a standalone plugin with that effect. You know what I mean? I don't know. The Rabia one is actually pretty solid. I'm not saying any of them are bad. There's the only one that I find to be not very good. I just really didn't like the Abassi suite very much. There's just lots of like little buttons and switches that don't do anything good. Like there's a lot of little switches that when you switch them, you're like, ah, and you're just like, no. You know what I mean? If you haven't heard Macabre, you got to go listen to Macabre Dahmer, chronological order of Jeffrey Dahmer's life. And the album is simply incredible. Everything about it is awesome. The song is called Scrub-a-Dub-Dub. And the dude sings in a manner that it's just that nobody sings like the dude from Macabre. It's almost like Bobcat Goldthwait became a metal singer. It's the only way I can really compare him to anybody else. This very strange dude. Sings with a headset mic, walks around the stage, looks like a lumberjack. Very strange. That guy. Yeah, you like this? I am. What am I playing today? Mike? What do you mean, Mike? Mike! Got athlete's foot at the shower at Mike's. I got athlete's foot at the shower at Mike's. How's it going, Brain Dead? Brain Dead. What am I playing today? My name is not Mike, though. And this is an Ibanez Iceman, as mentioned before you got here, actually. And this is a Bill Lawrence USA L500XL and a Gibson Classic 57. And I think it sounds pretty crushing. All right, so that's sounding pretty solid. I want to go to the Swamp Thang as well because only 2 blends in this one. Come on. Ooh, that's a different sounding speaker. Now, sometimes it's tempting. Okay, sometimes you're grooving on a sound and you're riffing on a sound. And then you change an IR, and all of a sudden, it gives you that holy shit feeling because it's very different. And it gives you that initial feeling that, oh, I need to change it. That's not good. Give it a second to settle in, and then before you make your decision to audition another file. Now, so it turned out that the mid voicing here was just adding too much of whatever, just adding too much. So I turned that switch off, gave it a bit more of a scoopsy sound. And all of a sudden, Swamp Thang is kind of a beast, right? Why not? He started my heart. If you haven't seen the video of Vince Neil and the actual lyrics he's singing, I mean, you have to be living under a rock at this point, I think. But if you haven't seen that video, go look up Vince Neil mumble lyrics, whatever, it'll pop up. And man, it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. The preset needs to be named Scoopsy Daisy. How about a plugin? How about a plugin EQ that as soon as you hit it and you put it after your cab section or before or whatever else, it gives you that perfect scoop at like 1.1K, that you can move the scoop around. The only option you have is to move it left or right, though. It's like, it's going to be kind of like a deep scoop with like a tight Q. Come on now. That sounds awesome for Motley Crue. I mean, I learned that song. I learned Dr. Feelgood. I kept something like that. Man, this sounds terrific. Eddie's probably loving this tone. This is definitely an Eddie tone. Man, this has been a fun one, guys. This has been a super fun stream. At a time, and we are not going to get into it, but at a time, we'll just say, at a time that I believe that people need as much positive content as possible. All right? There's a lot of fucked up shit going on all over the world right now, so try your very best to bury yourself in as much positivity as you can, and that's one thing we love about this channel. We're always trying to be positive about everything that happens to be going on in the industry. And if something bad is going on in the industry, I am going to bring it to you, and we are going to comment on it. We're going to talk about it. And like today, we got into the conversation about analog builders potentially not being a big fan of developers going after their amps. And man, there have been lawsuits and cease and desists, and ultimately, there is just nothing you can do. Some cases, there have been things that could have been done, and things were done. I can think of one particular plugin that I'm not going to mention the developer. I'm not going to mention the plugin either, but I can think of a plugin that had to change everything about how it looked. That had to change. The developer had to change everything about the way it looked. And I believe that they said it was an update, but a lot of stuff about the plugin changed. And they never mentioned, there was never a mention of it, but I think those of us in the industry that were kind of in the know and know how things work saw this, and a few of us reached out to each other and were like, what the fuck is this all about? Huh, I bet you somebody got a cease and desist and had to change graphics a little bit. I also know that Mezabugi had success on some level suing somebody for likeness rights because of the diamond plate. And that is why a couple of other developers, if you notice, a couple of other developers that have done rectifiers have actually not gone with a traditional diamond tread plate because of this past lawsuit. That there was once upon a time a successful lawsuit that had a developer had to change away from the diamond plate look. But then this was a long time ago. This was 15 years ago. Okay, this is at least 13 to 15 years ago. So, and then since then, there have been so many, and you are just going to end up tying up you're just going to end up absolutely pummeling yourself with lawyers' fees. You're not going to win. The developer will change things enough, likeness wise and other things. But I mean, even likeness, it's silly. Let it look how it's going to look. As long as the logo is not there and the name has been changed, and it is what it is, right? Yeah, but there's not much you can do. I wouldn't be surprised either. But I know of off the top of my head five plus cease and desists, and I know of one actual lawsuit. I know of lots of cease and desists. So there's the 5 that I know about that I was informed of. Then there's probably been loads more, but I don't think there's been many in the last bunch of years. I think maybe there are some newer companies getting brought to the plugin industry right now, and I think that's based on demand. If sooner or later people are going to start asking for these companies, like if you're at Rivera, and you're probably sitting back like, yep, nobody's done our apps yet. What the fuck? So if you're at Rivera right now, are you thinking, hey, what the fuck's wrong with my amp? Why is nobody modeling it? Or are you thinking, nobody's modeled our shit yet? Which way are you going with that? I mean, 5-10 years ago, I would have thought, hey, no one's done our stuff yet. That's pretty cool. But now I'd be wondering, why not? Where's our plugin? I want to send somebody a cease and desist. You know? Ask away, man. A question on distant? Absolutely. Yeah, I've heard of the people at 5+. Yeah, easily. There were a lot of cease and desists about 10 years ago. 10. They started like when Neural DSP came around. It has nothing to do with anything. But let's just say when the AmpSim industry really took off, the cease and desists became much more rare. But prior to that, companies like Scuffum, and Scuffum's always done a really good job at changing the likeness of things as well. But there are a lot of companies like, can you imagine how many cease and desists that IK Multimedia has gotten over the years? You know what I mean? If you're going to try and sue a one-man operation, that's so dumb. Send them a cease and desist instead. So a lot of smaller operations will get these cease and desists because there's no point on taking them to court anyways. And a lot of the times they will work. The cease and desists will work. I know one developer that literally probably just crumples them up or deletes the email and does not care and has never responded, never been sued, never been nothing. But the worst you can do is, I mean, if I'm an analog builder, I'm sending that cease and desist for sure, because it doesn't cost much to send a cease and desist, an official cease and desist. You can send that, and hopefully that scares them enough to say, hey, maybe we should pump the brakes and at least come up with a compromise. Reach out to the company and say, hey, we're really sorry. We didn't want to fucking cause anybody. All these other companies are doing it. Is there some kind of compromise we can come to? Maybe can we make it licensed? Huh? But then we also, guys, and this is, again, we're talking a lot today, but I want to explain this as well. Now, I don't want to bring any current developers into this. So we're just going to use fictitious developers, okay? Say I am an analog developer. an analog builder. I built an amp, okay? And I built a really cool amp, and a software developer, we'll call them Buddy Guy DSP, tapped me on the shoulder. They are legit. They are up in the industry. They are big. And we signed a deal that guarantees us it's a nice deal. It's a nice revenue split. And I'm really happy with the way the plugin turned out. I turned to this company, we did a license thing, and it was really, really awesome. And everybody seemed to like it. And I was really happy with it, and everyone loves my amp. And now I'm selling way more of the amp than I ever did before. This is fucking awesome. I upgraded my warehouse. I've made extra money. I was able to feed my family. Everything is going so great. And then another software developer, we'll call this Devil Dog DSP, did an unlicensed version of that amp. Well, I'm not just going to reach out to that amp all on my own. I'm going to tap these guys too. And tap these guys, probably going to tap these guys first and say, hey, Buddy Guy DSP, look what's going on. Do you guys see this? And they're going to say, hey, yeah, we see it. And this is kind of part of the deal. This is kind of how the industry works. It sucks. And there's not much we can do about this. But actually, we see a few small things we could probably nail them with a cease and desist. Get them to change the knobs, because these are our proprietary. That's our proprietary look. Our logo's kind of in the knob a little. Whatever. Proprietary knob is something you could nitpick about. Now, that is something, Buddy Guy DSP is going to now consult with me on what I can mention in the cease and desist. I'm pissed off about all of it. I want to go after them and say, hey, you need to stop doing the thing. All of the thing. Oh, stop doing it all. Fuck you. You know? Or what's going to happen more than likely is should just tap these guys. These guys are going to say, hey, there's literally nothing we can fucking do at all about this, and probably most of that. But we can go after these guys for this and probably this. And if they're really want to be, a bit courteous, they could probably change this and this. And then you send a cease and desist and say, you must change these things about your product, and we'll stop being pissed off. But if you don't change those things, we may look at lawyers and we may look at doing some things. This is our compromise. We know there's nothing we can do about this, and this, but there is something we can do about this, and this. And we really would like you to change these two things. And then we're all good. You're still an asshole. But we're just going to be silently seething. And we're probably going to put out another plugin to bury yours. Just so you know. Okay. Sound good? Fantastic. You change the knobs. You change the likeness a bit. You change the name to something a little bit less kitschy. No problem. We're not pissed off. But hey, we'll see you in 6 months where we're going to release a plugin that's going to stomp yours into the dirt. Cheers. Thanks very much for motivating us to put out another product. And then we as AmpSim fans and users, we all sit there like, yeah, woo, because we get to reap the benefits. We get to reap the benefits of war, essentially. Not really war. No one's actually hurting each other. Calm down. But war between these developers. And that is pretty much the same thing with any industry. Different truck fans, fans of different trucks. There's those types of families that have made a type of truck brand their entire family's identity for the last 5 generations. We been Ford lovers. Yeah. Like those kind of families, like, cousin fucking Seymour bought a Toyota Tacoma, and they don't invite him to dinner anymore. They've cut him off. Everybody deleted him from Facebook. Those kind of people. But when it comes to two truck companies going head to head, guess what? Truck drivers and truck lovers, they get to be the benefits of this war between the two trucks. They are trying to outfeature each other, and then everybody gets cooler shit. So that is essentially how these are usually, if anybody's curious how situations like that might play out and how I've seen them play out myself, this is precisely. I have actually been on a side of one developer that was sending a cease and desist to another developer based on likeness and a relationship between analog. I'm not going to say which. We're not going to get into that. I am not about to get sued myself here, and I'm always very careful to not speak on things. I was, fictitious Buddy Guy and Devil Dog. I'm not trying to talk. This isn't Neural DSP and Steel Tones and we're battling over the Grandifier. Shut up. It's just how it goes. It's just an interesting scenario to talk about. I'm really glad that came up. No, buddy, come on, don't do it. Don't do it, Brian here. Just don't do it. He's got the ball. Guys, it's been really nice to have you here today. Make sure you do like and subscribe. I really would appreciate if you did it, because it's just we all benefit that way. I guess they could just make your website disappear. What do you mean by that? If you're a small amp, hold on. If you're a small amp sim maker, how does the lawsuit works? Everything is online and digital. If you're a small amp sim developer, what do you mean? Which side are you going to be on? If I'm are you talking about the small developers on the receiving end of a cease and desist, or is the small developer the one trying to send the cease and desist? I need a little more information to go on there. The world does need some Rivera plugins, and I've said it a couple years in a row, trying to try to predict that this year is going to be the year for Rivera. It never ends up that way, though. There's got to be something about that amp. I'm not sure if Bo's still in the chat, but I have to have Bo look up the schematic and like the topology of the Rivera Knucklehead to find out what is it about that amp that is making it why is no one taking a stab at this yet? Because like Neural DSP, for all we know, we could see the Rivera Knucklehead suite, and I would do a standing backflip. I'd try anyways. I'd probably break my neck doing it, but I would damn sure try, because boy, oh boy, that would be a marriage I would love to see. Rivera plus top developer. You insert whichever one you'd like. Yes. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, buddy. No. All right, he's meowed himself hoarse at this point. I've been trying to get my fellow amp sim enthusiasts to join the stream. No. Don't need to try to get someone. Don't poke anybody. Just even just one person, be like, man, there's these dudes doing some fun shit. And eventually maybe someone will be bored enough to drop in and be like, yeah, it was fun. Or they'll be like, this guy's a lunatic and I don't ever want to listen to this guy's and his mumblings ever again. All right. I have nowhere to be. Tonight, but I am going to get going in the next couple minutes here, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Receiving. Okay, so you're on the receiver, a small developer, and you're on the receiving end of a cease and desist. I know of one small developer. I know of a few actually. Or when one was a smaller. Now this developer is not small anymore, but this developer at the time was quite small, and I know they got a cease and desist from an analog builder. There was a few likeness things, and they had to change, and they did change them, and they were very small things, and I don't even know how many people really even noticed. There was a couple things with just the likeness of the product, and that was all they were concerned with. There was a font in a certain font that apparently was unique to the brand, where they were able to say no on the font, and they were able to say no on a few different things. And hang on, guys. Anyways, hold up 1 second here, guys. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Just had to deal with sound issues. All right, so yeah, they basically, the small developer had to change a few likeness things, and they was able to put it, it was a seamless update. They dressed it all up like it was more presets. We're adding more presets. They added a cab, and they added some other stuff, and they sneakily changed all the likeness things, and that was it. I don't know that anybody really noticed or cared, but there was no mention of it, and it was just very seamless, and nobody even really noticed. However, there was another scenario where, as mentioned earlier, there was a phenomenal change and no real added. It was just the only thing that changed with the update was this phenomenal change in the way the amp looked, and the name of the amp as well had to be changed, and in just this sort of the spelling changed a little bit, which was really weird. But yeah, that does happen from time to time. It's interesting to think about it. It does happen from time to time, and it's weird when it happens. I would imagine it's kind of scary. I was kind of panicked the first time I heard of a developer that I was working for getting a cease and desist from, and I saw the email. It was forwarded to me, and I was just like, oh wow, that interesting. I was kind of scared. I was like, shit, what are you gonna do? And it got taken care of. They were able to work out. It was actually a monetary. It was a very small percentage without actually being a licensed scenario. And this particular company was not spoken for by anybody, but the developer had to give up a very small percentage. And this was a long time back as well. So a very small percentage. And again, it was just a small perpetual percentage. And then the cease and desist went away because the developers were like, listen, I don't want to change. This is pretty awesome. Could we just offer you some money? And sometimes the developer will say yes, unless they have a current deal with another plugin developer. And they will say, likely, no chance. We're not working with you. We already work with these guys. So hopefully that explains everything. Yeah, I'd be really curious, because a lot of times, guys, there are reasons that certain amps don't get done. Like the Roland Jazz Chorus is apparently a phenomenally complex amp, schematic wise. It's phenomenally complex. But now we are coming out with, like, the industry is learning new ways to capture things with only using like maybe part of the schematic and a little bit of profiling or this, that, and the other thing. And there's all kinds of different ways now. You don't have to go from schematics as much as they used to. Although it is, in my opinion, still one of the best ways to get things done. It takes longer, right? And with Rivera, though, I just wonder if it's one of those things where is the amp super complex and that's why no one's touching it? Is it like the Hyperfuzz we'll never see in a standalone plugin because apparently it's a nightmare to code it? I don't know. We shall see. I don't know, but like it's just weird to get a legal document. It's just weird to get a legal document where, you get a legal document and all of a sudden you're like, shit, it throws a real big wrench into your gears. Rare Knucklehead, Randall Sentry, VH140C, Crate Blue Voodoo, all amps. Those are all amps I'd like to see too. The Randall Sentry, I don't really know much about that amp. But all right. Guys, I'm out of here. Thank you for being here today. My challenge for you is simply to go and check out everything that Eminence, and all the impulse responses or the speakers, depending on if you like shooting your own IRs. Eminence has a ton for you to check out. Thank you so much to Eminence for the free product. We enjoy it. Everything from Eminence that I've used is awesome. And they make some of the nicest blends you can ever use, honestly. You go and get their single speaker packs and blend them together with things like Libra and Nadir, you will have lots of fun. So that is my challenge. Make sure you please do subscribe. We like it when you do that. I've mentioned it too many times. I usually like to mention it twice in every stream, but today we're just talking about that weird not subscribe to subscribe thing, and it actually is quite glaring. But if you don't want to subscribe, then you must have a reason. Until then, I will talk to you guys later. I will be here tomorrow, 4:30 probably-ish, maybe a bit earlier. Maybe we'll do some bass tomorrow. Not 100% sure, but I'll see you guys then. Thanks so much for being here. Cheers.
I like dollar, I like euro, I like franc and British pound. I like vodka and rakia, hit me with another round. I like burek, it's a pie, you will love it if you try. I like grill, I like meat, cake baklava, very sweet. I like peace, stop the war, politicians I ignore. Only French, white pigeon, is Google new religion. I like planet as a ball, some people tell me it's flat. And if it's flat then I could fall, but outside of box. I drink rakia on the rocks. This beat is cool, you won't be wrong. Just send us to the Euro song. Party people, make some noise. We are Balkan boys. Balkan boys. We are Balkan boys. Balkan boys. I like Hugo, it's a car, cannot get me very far. I like bar, it's kafana. I like putra, that's marijuana. Stop the war, no more fight. Rakia will unite. Stop the war, no more fight. Everything will be alright. I don't wear shoes, I like my Crocs. I wear them on my new